It's the 10 to 1 podcast with your host, Brad Oman, featuring Ben Konowitz and Nate Loucks. And here's the podcast.
Welcome back, friends. Welcome back.
Welcome back, everybody. Back-to-back episodes, Bill Burr and now Charli XCX.
Yes.
Ben, give me 5 facts about Charlie XCX.
She is British.
Say it again.
She is English.
No, British.
Oh, sorry. She is British.
Mm-hmm.
She has black hair.
Yes.
Correct.
She's a musical recording artist.
Mm-hmm.
She likes to use the word brat.
Yes.
And she was very good on this episode of Saturday Night Live.
Okay. Oh, okay. A little bit of foreshadowing about what's to come in this episode. This is the latest episode of Saturday Night Live. It is the last one before the Thanksgiving holiday. There will not be another episode next week as we head into Thanksgiving week or of Thanksgiving week. So we're going to be on break until December.
Are there any great Thanksgiving sketches that you can think of in SNL lore?
The Adele one comes to mind. Pre-tape sketch with Matthew McConaughey where the family is having dinner and to break up political discourse conversations, the little girl turns on Adele.
Yeah, that's
And,
good.
yeah.
But that is a classic. Is there any other?
I get confused by the Christmas and Thanksgiving ones. Like the one where Billie Eilish was inviting Kate McKinnon over. That was for Christmas, right?
I think that was Christmas.
Yeah, because if that was a Thanksgiving, then that would be up
General
there.
holiday
It's
one.
hilarious. Yeah.
It's a good one.
I can't really think of any other like from history, just off the top of my head. That's
A lot more Christmas ones than Thanksgiving ones.
That's what I was going to say. Thanksgiving isn't a huge thing for SNL.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure the Adam Sandler probably has a Thanksgiving song, right?
I think it's a turkey song. Yeah.
A gobble gobble and a gobble gobble.
Yeah, I think that is.
Something like that.
Yeah, let's have turkey, you and me.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's what it is, actually.
We faked an Adam Sandler song and we got
It's
it right.
a real one.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So I was surprised when they announced that Charli XCX was hosting for the first time and pulling double duty as the host and musical guest because I think, as we mentioned on an episode before, I was not familiar with her skills as a performer other than her singing. I knew she was a very popular singer, a big pop star right now, quite a big deal on the charts and everything, but was not aware that she had any acting capabilities or like interest in comedy or anything like that. But I will say to before we get into it in detail, I was pretty impressed by what I saw from her.
Do you guys remember the first episode she was on?
I do not.
Gosh, no. I'm sure I read it at some point and then it just went out my ears.
She was on a holiday episode, Christmas probably, episode December 13th, 2014.
2014?
No.
Yeah.
No,
holiday.
wait. 10 years ago?
She hasn't been around for 10 years.
Is that right?
She was 10 years old.
Yeah, there's no way she's been around for 10 years.
How old is she?
Charli XCX has got to be like 24.
25.
Is she really 25?
I can't imagine.
I'm going to look it up right now. And
Yeah,
I'll
look it up.
Yep.
I thought she was on Charli XCX age. We do Google sometimes when we do this show, so just to let people know, she's
She's 32 years old, so she would have been 22.
which is
So it's not impossible.
Yeah, exactly. It's incredibly.
But I don't
possible.
even think that she was famous 10 years ago though.
that's what I don't know. I thought it was
In
2014.
2010, she signed a recording contract with Asylum Records, releasing a series of singles and mixtapes
No.
throughout 2011
Was
and
that right?
2012.
Did I do the right
Nate,
research?
Nate is right. And she was on SNL in December of 2014.
Thank you, guys. My research.
She
was right.
contributed to the hook and bridge to Fancy by Iggy Azalea.
Yeah, this episode.
I'll let you down.
Oh, Boom Clap is her song. Okay.
Boom. How's that one go?
Boom Clap.
Whoa, that's way
I
too
don't-
much.
That's
know
the
that
chickens
one.
from the Muppets doing Charli XCX's song.
That was way too much.
And then she was on. So that was season 40. She was on in season 47. She was scheduled to be on in season 47. What happened?
the second wave of the pandemic.
Paul Rudd's episode.
Yeah.
She was the musical guest when they canceled. So interesting enough. So then she was on again in March 5th, 2022 with Oscar Isaac as the makeup there. But interesting there that, the first 2 episodes she was on as a musical guest were both holiday episodes. And here she is again, not necessarily in a holiday episode.
Charlie XCX.
Oh, boy.
Oh,
there it is.
Christmas.
But I wonder if their experiences with her, maybe in that Oscar Isaac episode, was enough to say, oh, I think you could actually
Martin Freeman episode.
No, but she was on in 2022 is what I'm saying.
Oh, gotcha.
And so like, hey, you could actually do this hosting as well.
Well, there you go. That's very interesting. I'm just kind of surprised that she's been around for that long because I didn't even realize.
I think every young female recording artist that is about that age, I'm like 22 to 23.
Yeah.
I'm so old these days. I have no idea. But she looks, of course, incredible. But I would never have said 32 ever.
Yeah,
she looks so young.
Is she getting into acting at all, Brad?
I don't think so. I haven't heard anything about her doing movies or anything like that.
Charlie's Angels XCX?
Never mind.
Okay.
Actually, she has been in some films.
Name them.
Ugly Dolls.
That was an animated movie where she did a voice, yeah.
Yep, exactly. And then she's got, she's in the upcoming remake of Faces of Death, starring Barbie Ferreira.
Oh, okay. She's from Euphoria.
Decker Montgomery.
Oh, yeah, he's from Power Rangers.
Josie Tata.
Don't know who that is.
On Euphoria before you.
And then she's in an upcoming film called I Want Your Sex. Starring Olivia Wilde, Cooper Hoffman, Charlie XCX, and Daveed Diggs, Mason Gooding.
Okay.
And then she's in another upcoming movie called Sacrifice, starring Anya Taylor-Joy, Chris Evans, Salma Hayek.
All right.
And so
she's on the up.
Clearly getting into.
Thank you for stopping by Nate's IMDb corner on the 10 to 1 podcast.
And then
Charlie XCX.
Yeah, she's doing some stuff. She's doing some stuff, guys. That's all.
So
let's Charlie XCX out of that window.
Jump right into it.
All right, here we go. Trump and Biden meeting cold open. Joe Biden, played by Dana Carvey, welcomes President-elect Donald Trump, played by James Austin Johnson, to the White House, but is interrupted by Matt Gaetz.
Who cares? He's a piece of shit.
Played by Sarah Sherman. And, well, I mean, this Sarah Sherman character might come back a couple times.
Matt Gaetz.
And Robert F. Kennedy Jr., played by Alec Baldwin. This could also include performances by Chloe Feynman, Andrew Dismukes, Ashley Padilla, and Emil Walken. So I assume Dana Carvey's almost done playing Joe Biden, right? This might be his last one.
We'll see. I don't know.
He lives there, though.
I don't know about you guys, but it seems like James Austin Johnson is done playing Trump.
Yeah.
He does seem tired.
He was really phoning this one in, honestly.
Well, yeah.
Remember in the last week, in the episode where he comes back and he's like strong Trump or something, and he just kind of rolls his eyes like
he is over it.
I think he's done.
I mean, it's just. I mean, we're all done with it, honestly. Except for you people out there who are racist.
It is unfortunate for if James Austin Johnson was just he was praying on a lot of different levels that he'd be done, and now he's got to do it for 4 more.
At
years.
the same time, though, part of me does wonder if it can't, because I didn't actually watch the actual meeting between them.
I actually watched the episode.
No, I didn't actually watch the actual meeting between Trump and Biden, and so maybe he was being subdued Trump because that's how Trump was.
Yeah. That was how Trump was.
Well, then there you go.
He was a professional in that meeting for some reason.
Well, I don't know if we have to go that far.
No, it was like
he acted professional.
Yeah, that's
because he's never been a professional.
It was like
just tired.
He was like, you know how elections get; they're hard on people, but it's good for the country to come together, kind of thing. You're like, who is this?
Yeah, why do you care now?
Someone gave him a horse tranquilizer before that meeting, probably. Anyway, so
I have the best horses.
Okay, did love. I don't know if her performance is perfect or anything. Sarah Sherman's
good
eyebrows.
It was so funny.
All she has to do is stare with those creepy eyebrows, and she looks just like Matt Gaetz.
Oh,
it's so unnerving.
The only thing that she could have done to make the performance better was be sexually inappropriate with a teenage girl, because like the look is amazing. I hope that they use her so often for this.
Incredible.
And she posted a photo.
It's called a doppelganger.
She posted a photo on Instagram saying that she got to do the Kubrick stare on SNL, and she posted the picture from the sketch along with a picture next to Jack Nicholson from The Shining, and she looks just like Jack Nicholson from The Shining too. Yeah. But no, I would definitely love to see more of her doing that. And otherwise,
and also that was funny, right? That was taking the politics of it all, like and making it absurd.
Yeah,
which. I will share. That was my favorite part of it. If you're gonna do this, do something absurd with it.
Yeah,
and just in the way she looked was absurd, but still looked kind of like him, right? And it was enough to connect. But she added something funny to it. The rest of it was okay. It wasn't bad.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
I think
great,
Alec
but-
Baldwin does a decent RFK. The voice is solid,
And he is an older man.
Yeah.
It looks like him.
The back and forth between Trump and Biden was
Whatever.
not anything super exciting.
No, do you ever feel like Dana Carvey also wants to make something happen really badly, and so he can be a little bit of a tryhard?
I also feel like the greatest strength in some of these impressions can sometimes be their greatest weakness, only because the vibe of SNL and how you utilize impressions has changed somewhat on SNL, and he comes from a time when impressions were a lot more based around like catchphrases, as opposed to like doing the most accurate impression. And so while his impression is good,
I think it's very good.
It does rely on him saying the same things over and over again.
And now we've heard this for months now.
Yeah, and it can be a little tiring from time to time.
Yeah, I think it's time to be done.
Yeah, I hope it is anyway.
But we're going to get a lot more Trump coming forward.
Yeah. I will say there's a sketch in this episode, while not particularly great, I wish that they would do more things like that in order to satirize what is happening.
I can't wait to get to
in
it.
politics, so we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Hosting for the first time, 3-time musical guest Charlie XCX teaches everyone the meaning of brat while making a cameo appearance alongside longtime former cast member Kyle Mooney. Later this week, Brad and I are actually going to meet Kyle Mooney at a showing of his new film on Wednesday night, I think. Tomorrow?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, his new movie Y2K is coming out here in early December, and we're going to a screening, and he's supposed to be there for a little Q&A. So that
Very
should be
cool.
pretty fun.
Yeah, so we're excited about that. But
It's good to see Kyle Mooney back.
It was.
It was. I miss him a lot on the show. He's one of my favorites. But did you know what brat was, Ben?
No.
I had a vague idea.
Yeah, I was gonna say like it's a placeholder for Smurf.
That's right.
I'll say this though, I don't know anything about Charlie XCX. I mean, other than I've heard of her. But
Well, she's British.
British.
She's got black hair.
Yeah.
She's a musical recording artist. I forgot the other thing I said, and she was
Boom,
very good.
clap, bam, 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 bam.
But she's got a charm to her.
She's
I think
very
she's
charming.
delightful.
Very
like,
delightful.
I really liked her. She brought the charm. She did what you should do as somebody that's not a comedian or a sketch artist or even an actor, right? She's starting to act, but she's not had a lot. She just brought the charisma, and
She
fun.
didn't seem nervous.
Nope.
She
Yeah.
seemed
She
very,
owned the stage.
paused and professional.
I wonder if
everything was
though
good.
recording artists often do fairly well, not seeming nervous, but because I mean that's what they do. They do still perform all the time,
Oh, of
right, in front of
course.
people.
Yeah, being
so.
in front of a live audience constantly does help with that. But a lot of them can struggle because they're not doing the thing that they
They're
do,
not actors,
right?
yeah.
They're not singing. So, the camera's on me and there's nobody talking. I'm the only one here. Charlie XCX was incredibly well put together as far as that. I had no problems here whatsoever.
Yeah.
Anything else to add?
No.
Because there wasn't that much to
No,
it.
yeah,
Honestly. It wasn't a
pretty
great,
basic,
but
pretty
it was
basic.
fine. It was good. All right, Baby Moon, Charlie XCX, Heidi Gardner, Ego Wodum, and Sarah Sherman play friends who sing about their baby moon trip at their friend Chloe Feynman's baby shower. Andrew Mukes plays the husband. Marcel Hernandez plays Domingo, bringing back Domingo, and Ashley Padilla plays the host. So they did this a couple episodes ago. It wasn't that long ago. But I almost would have preferred to see Kyle Mooney as a guest in this because he does so well as the the kind of.
But they had to carry over the same characters.
I know,
yeah.
but
We know, Brad.
So
I know.
it's the logistics
We
of the
know.
podcast.
so they did this
Podcast.
not long ago.
It's the logistics of the show.
Don't worry about it.
They did this not long ago with Domingo, and obviously it actually became a little bit of a TikTok sensation.
Yeah, apparently it went viral, which is why it made it into that one TikTok sketch they did, the one that wasn't very good.
And so
And I was surprised to see it come back so soon.
that's what I was gonna say. I'm not surprised they brought it back. I'm a little surprised they brought it back so soon.
But I suppose strike while the iron is hot. And I think, honestly, this version I felt was better than the other version.
I agree.
As far as how well the song came together.
Yeah.
It did. It seemed, and maybe just because it's their second time of doing it, they kind of knew what they were doing a little more with this.
Yeah.
And they kept it extremely outlandish, and they escalated just fine. It was very
this
good.
is also this is a sketch that has a decent amount of physical comedy because you're doing a lot of facial comedy work, right? Andrew Smukes needs to show like what? There's a lot going on there, and it also I think requires a lot of the production, and it felt like they had it this time. It was hitting every.
The timing
mark.
was
the
better
timing
in this
was
one.
perfect, which again is another element to the show that we talk about sometimes, but it has to be.
We
perfect.
really only bring it up when
It's bad.
they make a mistake, right? So
I
when it
feel
goes
like-
well, we don't give them enough credit.
Yeah, and I think that the song it's maybe lent itself better to like what they were accomplishing. It was a nice touch having them spelling out Domingo in the YMCA letter fashion.
That was fun.
So yeah, I think it worked out. Ben, do you know who sings the song that they
The
did
Village
this one?
People.
That's YMCA.
Yep, that's what I got it right.
Who sings this song?
This
Isn't an original.
No, this
No.
is Chapel Roan, right?
Ah, yep.
Nate's in touch with the youths.
Okay, is that like another JoJo Siwa person?
HOTTOGO.
Hot go.
Hot to go.
Hot to go.
Oh, hot to go. Okay.
And my daughter loves Chapel Roan.
All right, fair enough.
Everyone loves Chapel Roan right now.
Cool.
Except for Ben.
Apparently, she's got a great album.
So I'm gonna have to start listening.
Ben-
It's not for you.
Okay, not for me. Hey guys, it was told it's not for me. No, overall, very good sketch. I liked it better than the first one. I did. As soon as I saw what it was, I was like, oh, they're gonna force this on us again. But then it was fine. Like I honestly, they had to overcome that.
They won me back after
Yeah.
I was initially like,
Yep.
So I do think it brings up an interesting thing where there are sometimes sketches. The first one, we liked it fine. It was fine, right? Marcelo Hernandez did a great job. But I don't think the three of us would have said this is one of the best sketches.
yeah.
no, definitely not.
But what's interesting
wasn't
is
even my favorite of that episode.
True.
What determined the repeat for this, I think,
Was the audience.
was
Is
the
the-
audience.
is the
The
TikToks.
digital,
Well, and that's-
the digital audience loved
And that
this.
happens too. I mean, and because like honestly, this actually just came up recently because I just started listening to the 4-episode run of Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend, where they brought in Kevin Nealon and Dana Carvey and Robert Smigel to talk about the Hans and Franz movie that they never made.
Oh, that was a while ago, though, right? So you're going back to
Yeah,
this.
I never listened to it. So I'm listening to those 4 episodes now. And Smigel talks about how like when they did the original first 2 Hans and Franz's, they didn't really fully have a conceptual idea of like what the characters were, other than they were Arnold Schwarzenegger's cousins and like they were strong. And like it evolved after that because they really found like the niche of like what the funniest thing for the characters to do was. And he even like recalls too, like the first Wayne's World wasn't a home run. You know, they figured it out as it went on.
Right.
So, it's one of those things where sometimes you'll get a sketch that like, oh, that worked. Let's see if we can do it again and make it better.
To take a 5-minute sketch and to turn it into a 130-minute movie, as we've seen watching some of these SNL
That's
movies,
crazy.
is really hard.
Yeah, but also we live now in an era where, even though I don't watch The Office, I know for a fact that so many people have talked about that it might not have gotten a second season based on the first season if you made it today, because it wasn't a smash hit right out the gate.
it wasn't a hit
it
at
did.
all.
I mean, it honestly almost didn't get a second season when it was made.
Exactly, and that's the tail end of when studios,
Which is really
and
sad, honestly.
networks were giving things time to grow their audiences.
Yeah.
Now it's either you're a smash hit out the gate or you're done.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
you better be viral. Yep.
SNL is a victim of that as well, where again you might try a sketch 3 or 4 times back in the day to see if there's something that you can change about it. Now, if you try it twice and it really doesn't work, you're not probably going to get a third one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's been other
Unless you're Bo and Yang with the Stewie Griffin T-shirt on. What's that character's name? I'm like, they keep doing it. I'm like, why?
It's interesting
Stop doing that one.
how digital media and digital interactions do impact things. What was the Christmas movie last year with Paul Giamatti?
The Holdovers.
The
The Holdovers. The three of us loved that film.
Great
film.
It was a great film. And I remember seeing, and Brad, I don't think it was just my algorithm, but on Twitter at the time, it was going all over. People were like, this is a great movie. People need to see this movie. And I think it lent to the longevity of this film staying in the theaters and getting some more recognition. Because I remember when it released, it wasn't the biggest deal at the time.
Yeah.
And how digital interactions can have a robust impact on kind of how things live in the cultural zeitgeist. So,
For sure.
all right, moving on. Wicked auditions. Charlie XCX, played by Bowen Yang. Troy Sivan, played by Charlie XCX. Martha Stewart, played by Chloe Feynman. Al Pacino, played by Dana Carvey. Sebastian Maniscalco.
Maniscalco.
Thank you, Maniscalco, played by Marcelo Hernandez. Jojo Siwa, played by Chloe Feynman again. Bernie Sanders, played by Sarah Sherman. Great Bernie Sanders, by the way. Sydney Sweeney, played again by Chloe Feynman, and more. Devin Walker,
She's got some
Edgar
talent.
Woolman, and Heidi Gardner auditioned for Wicked, which is coming out. I think we released this. It's coming out in a couple days, right?
Yeah, it'll be out this week.
So they've done this many, many times.
Mm-hmm.
They did this, I mean, almost, since the early 2000s, maybe?
Even before then, I think.
Did they do it in the 90s?
Yeah, I think they were doing it as early as like the mid to late 90s.
But they have not done one in quite a while.
It's been a little while. I want to say the last one they did was probably like for one of the Star Wars movies. Or something
And
like
these
that.
are easy sketches. These are sketches where the cast members get to do their best impressions.
Yeah, it's
or
like a cavalcade
stuff that they're
of celebrity impressions.
What are you working on right now? I've got this thing going
Yeah.
on, right? Bill Hader was always great at this.
He was.
Because he get and the nice thing is you don't have to have a complete impression. You just have to have a phrase.
Yeah.
Right? What did you guys think of this iteration of it?
I think it made me feel older than any sketch on SNL has in a long time.
I was literally thinking the same thing. I just saw it and I went, Bill Hader's not going to be in
Yeah.
this. And I got grumpy for a
And
second.
also,
you know?
I was like, like I don't care about half these people. I don't need to see impressions of them either.
Yeah, Fran Lebowitz. What is this another Sacha,
that was an
Sacha
old
Rowan?
That was an
That
old
was
callback.
such an obscure reference to do
I feel
Anne
like
Leibovitz.
I feel
Good
like
for
they were
Bowen
in a-
Yang for getting it on.
They were in a room where like anybody got anything else? He's like, I kind of got a Fran Lebowitz.
Yeah, it just feel like I miss like you need someone like Hader who's like bringing in an Alan Alda impression or something like that, like these like fun throwbacks. But this felt like a cavalcade of like some of the most recent figures in pop culture.
Was there any that you didn't think were that great?
I don't know. I mean, I know why they did it, but it just feels so tired to have Dana Carvey doing Al Pacino.
And it wasn't even that good.
It's not that good,
to be honest.
And Bill Hader already
Yeah,
had done
well,
it.
yeah.
By the way,
It's just so weird.
Dana
to me.
Carvey, one of the best
And
impressionists
again, yeah,
of all
that's
time.
I don't want to disrespect the man, but
Yeah.
No,
but
he's one of the best impressionists. It's like you brought an Al Pacino.
that's so weird to me.
Like I would have much rather them just bring George Bush in. He's still alive, right?
Yeah, exactly.
George H.W. Bush.
Yeah.
What about? I didn't think Chloe Feynman, who's again a top 10 probably impressionist on SNL of all time, I didn't think her Sydney Sweeney was that great.
Well, I just don't think that Sydney Sweeney has something that you like easily can capture in
Like,
impersonation.
I mean, you're on Chloe Feynman's Instagram, which if you've not seen this, you need to go to find Chloe Feynman's Instagram because she herself is like, she's like, I don't have a lot of boob.
But she's like, but I have something.
But I have something. But when we need to have more boob, here's what I do. And it's a massive fake breast setup that
Yeah.
is full nude on the
Stuck on her body.
Yeah, it's so
Was that
jarring.
her doing this?
Yeah, it was just so crazy.
I don't know if she needed that for this. It would make sense. Since
Because I didn't see anything that she was doing that with. But
I think that was for that. Yeah.
it could have been for anything. I mean,
It makes sense that for Sydney Sweeney.
no, it
'cause-
would.
yeah,
but I don't know if
it
this
could
was,
have
if it
been.
was
I
for
just
this.
didn't. I thought
Guys,
of that at the time.
what are we doing here?
What did you think of Marcelo Hernandez's
Oh my
Sebastian
God,
Maniscalco?
it's perfect.
Oh yeah,
I thought it was pretty good.
Absolutely perfect. So Ashley's never. My girlfriend's Ashley. When I watched that together, and she's like, "Who is that?" Because she doesn't watch. She's never seen him do stand up. I was like, if we turned on Sebastian right now, you'd be like, "Oh, they're exactly the same."
Yeah.
Like he is so good at that impression.
Yeah, he did a great job. It just didn't feel like it was particularly good, I guess.
I don't know. So the Bad Bunny one is like, okay, can we get that in English? No.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just like a lot of times back, maybe I'm just old, but like it seemed like they were going for the
Maybe.
joke a little bit more this time around rather than just doing an impression.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And also in the older audition sketches, they would at least have them doing like lines from the
Right.
movies and stuff. And this just felt like they were just doing the impression
Right.
and saying whatever, you know?
A little bit. And a little bit.
Which is too bad because I didn't think this was great, and I actually do love this setup. I love
I say
love the people doing the impressions. Like
I'm going to say this. I didn't love it, but do it again. Because I
Yeah,
still
yeah.
wanna
Like, I
see,
didn't love this iteration.
you
of it.
know, I
Doesn't
still
mean-
love it when they do this.
Yep, I agree. All right, moving on.
And go see Wicked, everybody.
Thanksgiving Baking Championship 2024. Contestants Charlie XCX, Kyle Mooney, Heidi Gardner, and Marcelo Hernandez compete in a baking competition show to create Thanksgiving-themed cakes. Andrew Smooks plays the role of host. The sketch also includes Ego Wodum, Michael Longfellow, and Ashley Padilla as the judges. Brad, let's start with you. What did you think of this one?
I thought it was fine. I think they've done it better before. There were some nice touches. I did think the turkey cake with the spread eagle setup was pretty funny. Part of me wonders if it was initially more graphic, where the legs were spread and they had to tone it down because it felt oddly lacking detail. But I also wonder if maybe it's just because they knew that they were going to have the stuffing come out of it.
I think the stuffing comes out of it, and that's a big blank canvas to do that. But also, you could tell what it was, right? So it was pretty grotesque. I mean, it was funny. They always have a problem every single time they do this sketch. There's always because there's a lot of moving parts here, literally and figuratively, with like the cuts and things like that, but also the mechanicals and all that stuff. This sketch, they've never fully dialed it in where it's been perfect. Yeah, it's always run into some sort of problem. This time around, the mechanics of Heidi Gardner's bird were working already, right? Which is whatever, it's fine, but it does take you out of it a little bit. Then having Kyle Mooney as the fourth contestant, I don't think you needed that. I think that it did
feel like a little too much, but I liked it. I did like Kyle Mooney saying, "Oh yeah," and the main part is a black dildo.
Yeah, there's enough there to make it worth it. But again, going from the one, and I like that they're like, yeah, you just want it too much. Like, that's funny. Yeah. I don't know. Just there's all the pieces are there for this one to make it really great, and it just wasn't. But it was solid, and I did laugh, especially when the damn thing like shot the stuffing across or whatever. That was crazy. But yeah, no. Overall, enough to like about this, obviously, but it just wasn't a home run.
Yeah. I thought it was pretty good, not great.
Yeah, I agree. It was fine. All right, moving on. SNL Digital Short. Let's get the team back together here, right? Here I Go, featuring Charlie XCX, a man portrayed by Andy Samberg, and a woman, Charlie XCX, sing a song about their love for snitching. The sketch also includes Colin Jost, James Austin Johnson, Devin Walker, Ashley Padilla, and Emil Wacham, all of whom play various roles in the sketch. So I wanted to bring this up because Please Don't Destroy was featured in a sketch by Please Don't Destroy, and it was bumped. And
it was legit cut for time.
It was a cut for time
where they thought it was going to get included.
That's what I'm saying, because they would not have done that.
Yeah, for a second, when the SNL Digital Short thing came up, I was excited because it was like, oh shit, we get an SNL Digital Short and a Please Don't Destroy video.
Yeah,
but I guess not.
And so now we know the hierarchy.
Also, you're Please Don't Destroy can be back here next week.
Well, to be fair, and it's not even necessarily a hierarchy, but as they've established on Lonely Island and Seth Meyers' podcast, the pre-tapes serve a function aside from just being funny themselves. They want those to be good sketches, but primarily Lauren wants the pre-tapes to give the time in between to change sets when they actually need it.
Right.
Yep.
So if they have to bump one and it's not necessary to include in the show and they can do something live instead, then that's probably what he'll do every time.
This wasn't one of the best ones I've ever seen. The song was catchy enough, so
the song is catchy as hell.
And the song's very good.
Yeah. I think it takes a little too long to get to the reveal, and the reveal itself is not necessarily hilarious enough to warrant that long of a wait. Right. I think that's its biggest problem.
Are they working on a new album?
They must be.
They have mentioned on the Lance and Myers podcast that they've been working on some stuff for a while, and they're not necessarily sure if they have a full album yet or like what they want to do. But they have said that they have some stuff. So
and then I would like to shout out like the props people and the set design here is fantastic.
Yeah,
I agree.
The phone wall and all that was nuts.
The quality, both in the videos now and even in the songs, because between this and Sushi Glory Hole, you can tell there's a real uptick in the production quality behind the music.
Do you think the Lonely Island is just doing these on their own and saying, hey, we have this thing, you can put it in?
No,
or do you think the SNL team's still involved?
I'm sure.
Big time.
Yeah, I'm sure that's not because they've talked about how when they first started doing SNL Digital Shorts, they were doing so much guerrilla stuff themselves, and they didn't even have a proper video unit. Now SNL has a full-on video unit just for stuff like SNL Digital Shorts, so they definitely have the team to pull this stuff off.
And then, I mean, it's called what it is. The Lonely Island boys are men. They are now fully established people that have done this for years.
That's what I'm saying. They could get their own team there easily.
But they're taking what is being given to them and operating it at a very high level, even higher than when they were on the show, of course.
And is it Akiva? Is he in Norway right now or something?
No, Jorma's in Finland shooting a movie.
Yeah, so this wasn't done by all three of them then.
Probably not. But Kiev was in the sketch briefly.
In the sketch, yeah.
So he was probably involved with
not an all-timer, but the song itself very, very well done. The production value very, very well done.
A great rare appearance by Colin Jost in a sketch.
Yes.
Used in the perfect way possible.
Agreed. And he was great last week in the cold open as well.
Yeah.
Good to see him in a couple sketches. I think used perfectly.
When you need a white guy scapegoat, call
Yes.
Colin Jost.
Yes.
All right, moving on. One that I actually really liked for some reason, Banger Boys. Andrew Smukes, Marcelo Hernandez, and Emil Wachem play podcast hosts who discuss interviewing Trump before the election with their producer, Charlie XCX.
Ben, I feel like this one hit home for you, Rob.
Yeah.
The thing that I liked the most about this was it took a premise which I was thinking this is a funny premise, but they escalated it to the point where he was like, I don't think I want to be the ambassador. Like, it wasn't just these bro guys, like, yeah, we're gonna rule the world. But it was like, whoa, no, dude, I don't want to do that. Like, that's great. That's very self-referential, and it's not fourth wall necessarily, but it's not a hat on a hat or anything crazy like that. It's just good escalation to like change the temperature of the sketch and make it something different when you had a good thing, and now I think it was great because of that.
And for our listeners that might not follow politics as much, this kind of plays on this idea that, you know, cultural critics have been talking about. The media has changed, right?
He was just on our podcast 4 days ago or whatever it was.
Why go on the nightly news, or why get interviewed by Anderson Cooper where it's viewed by 1 million people when you can go on Joe Rogan and get viewed by 15 to 40 million people?
You know what's cooler than a million assholes? A billion assholes.
And so, like, the idea, and these bros, and I'm not even, compared to some of these podcasts, Joe Rogan's a freaking professional, right?
Yeah, no,
I'm not even kidding. Like, to some of these people that like have millions of listeners, like, he is a professional comparatively. And he went on a bunch, Trump went on a bunch of these different podcasts, apparently influenced by his son Barron, which makes sense. Right, because Barron, is 18 years old.
Oh, sorry.
He's going to know what, like, all of the 18, 19-year-olds are listening to. And this is a perfect encapsulation of that type of podcast. So I liked the critique of it. I don't know if everyone would get it, but I thought it was pretty fun.
Yeah. I think it went on a little too long.
I agree. That would be my critique, too.
Yeah, they probably could have cut, like, a small portion of it out. I did like Dismukes being the voice of reason with Marcelo Hernandez's, you know, more idiot bro.
Like, idiot bro stuff.
No, man.
And there's always the woman producer, too. There's always the woman producer. And that's on morning shows as well, if you've ever noticed.
And that was a fun runner, too. Just the different sponsors and everything.
Yeah, I like that. I like the sponsors. They had a lot of fun with this one.
Yeah.
And so did we.
All right, it's time for a weekend update with Colin Jost and Michael Che. I'm going to do all of our bits as well, and we'll just dissect it all. While we talk about this, or while I read this, Brad's going to put his barometer in his cell phone so that we know it's an honest answer. But let me read it for you for our listeners. Weekend update anchors Colin Jost and Michael Che tackle the week's biggest news. This includes topics such as Donald Trump nominating Matt Gaetz for Attorney General, Plan B sales rising after Trump won the presidential election, Joe Biden welcoming Trump to the White House, Wicked Doll boxes accidentally linking to a porn site, which is hilarious, a Spirit Airlines flight being struck by gunfire, and Disney goers complaining that a ride makes them too wet. Guests included Tiger King, Joe Exotic, played by Bowen Yang, who stopped by the Weekend Update desk to discuss writing a letter to Donald Trump asking for a pardon and a position in his cabinet. Additionally, Peanut the Squirrel's widow, played by Sarah Sherman, arrived to discuss her late husband's death. Now, each week we do this thing called the pedometer, which gauges how much chemistry that the hosts had. It also kind of includes a little bit of the comedy and a little just what Brad's feeling like. There's no science to this, as Ben and I have discovered. There's no
science.
There's no, like,
you got it dialed in?
Line in.
Is it dialed in?
It's 1 to 100. We get to guess where this is at.
Let's
we
say
have
it,
not
let's say,
done
let's
well.
Say, I'm like 1, 2, 3, and say your number. So we're not like,
okay.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I like to do one less than you.
Right. I know. So I want you to do it like at the same time. Like, so like 1, 2, 3, and you must say the number.
Okay.
You're not going to say the number, are you? I can just see it in your freaking face. 1, 2, 3, 70.
85. I was going to say 85.
You delayed anyway.
I 1, 2, 3. I was going to look at you and then say 85.
Anyway, I said 78.
83.
I went over, but I was closer.
You were closer.
83.
What? So unpack it. What was the? That wasn't great. It was actually one of the lower of the season, but not the lowest of the season.
No,
nothing's gonna be 119 from last week,
right. Exactly.
or 135 in the week before that.
So what in there did you like in their chemistry?
It was just a general sense of playfulness.
Fuck off.
Because I didn't think it was an 85. I thought he was going to rate it.
Nate, I just don't love. First of all, I don't even like the way he's looking right now. Like, I don't even like the way you said that, knowing what you knew what you were doing when you said this. I'm gonna piss Ben off so much, and I'm just gonna say
general playfulness.
Just a playfulness. And he looked at me like, "Say something," and I'm gonna say something. Fuck you. No,
yeah.
Sorry, listener.
Let me be clear. I don't even think I'm really doing this legitimately anymore. I think I'm just giving a number, and let's just see how the fight happens.
See, that's it. You light a match and you light it on fire, and then
I will say the jokes in this weekend update were better than they have been.
That's why I gave it a little
they
higher.
They were so much sharper.
The writers were great,
and they're going after the political appointees and things like that. You know, the best joke of the year was on Weekend Update.
What was it?
Matt Gaetz, who looks like Frankenstein raped Dracula.
Yes,
that's the best joke of the year.
So that combined, I forgot to mention earlier, but in the cold open, when he says Elon Musk, Matt Gaetz, Alien versus Predator.
Yes, that's a great joke as well. Yeah, these are great jokes.
Yeah.
This is why I tune into SNL. Like it's almost a perfect joke.
It is the sad truth of the Trump era is the comedy will probably be better.
You look up at that picture and you hear the words Frankenstein raped Dracula, and you're like, yes, I agree completely.
Yeah.
I can't believe nobody's ever said this before. Yeah. This is hilarious.
Yeah, I hope someone on staff got $20,000 just for that joke.
That's a perfect joke. That being said, the other stuff was really good too. Like the Spirit Airlines going to Haiti.
Yeah.
Like, what was the joke though? It was like an unusual bump in the road for those of you flying Spirit to Haiti. That's such a terrible.
I have flown into the Port-au-Prince airport probably 6 or 7 times going there. My dad used to own a house in Haiti, and we would go in there. And the first time I flew in, it was in the late 90s, and the UN was still there. And you'd fly into the airport, and for some reason, to give you the feeling of comfort, they had a large airplane that had crashed far from the runway. Oh my God. But you fly in there, and then you get off the airplane, and it's one of those airports. I don't know if you've ever flown in an airport where you have to get off the plane and then walk on the runway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you get off on the plane, you walk on the runway, and you just see dozens of UN soldiers with machine guns on the air. It's it's quite a treat. Now the UN left and let the country burn down, but it's quite a treat if you can ever go to Haiti.
I'm good. I think I'm good actually. I don't need to be shot out.
You ever want a vacation in Haiti?
Hey, you know what?
No, I think I'm gonna waity.
Oh boy.
Let's talk a little bit about Tiger King, played by Bowen Yang, Joe Exotic. What did you think of his Joe Exotic impression?
It would have been fine. And now, but I was so playfully happy with the tiger paw coming in. It saved it for me because I was like, "This is fine, I guess." And then when that happened, it's the way Bowen Yang does it though.
Yeah.
Because hey, and he knows it's so fake, and it's just playing up in it. And he's talking directly to somebody who understands that kind of comedy.
Well, I also love how comically big.
Yeah,
the
it's
paw
just so
is, too.
stupid, right? It's
You're
just
right.
So stupid.
It did need saved a little bit because I'm already getting tired of the idiot thinks he's going to get appointed to the Trump cabinet thing, right? Because that joke now is being made constantly.
The paw saved the whole thing.
But yeah, the physical paw there was good. What about Peanut the Squirrel's widow? Did you guys even familiar? This is very Twitter, by the way. I
knew the story, and it was sad. But at the same time, don't have a squirrel in your apartment and then post that you got a squirrel in your apartment. Maybe just keep it yourself.
I don't think you're supposed to.
You're not supposed to. It's illegal. So
people are like, you should be able to have a squirrel.
Well, it depends on where you get the squirrel, probably, right?
No, you're not allowed to have those kind of animals in New York.
I don't know.
Because they have rabies and they spread disease.
Well, they can have rabies. They don't automatically have rabies.
Did he have a raccoon?
I don't know. But at the end of the day, this sketch was very funny because, as always, Sarah Sherman finds a way to make it about shitting on Colin Jost.
Well, yeah, I mean, because the last time they did this she was Flacco the owl.
Yeah.
Flacco's widow.
Yeah.
And so if they can keep finding animals who have passed away and have her...
And the costuming is insane.
The tail.
The tail in and of itself
was so good.
It had puppeteers behind it.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. But yeah, that was very good. And like, you call me Hazelnut. Come on, man. That was good stuff.
All right, moving on. Acting teacher. A commercial acting teacher played by Charlie XCX and Marcelo Hernandez gives unconventional acting tips to students to Andrew Dismukes, Chloe Feynman, Devin Walker, Ashley Padilla, and Jane Wickline in his class. Brad, what did you think of this one?
So for me, initially, I felt like I was very underwhelmed by it. But then once Marcelo started yelling actual commercial slogans in that very dramatic way, then I was like,
so
okay,
good.
there's the sketch.
He does have that ability
He's
now to
amazing.
save sketches too, with just,
He was wonderful, and the whole like, and that's how she almost booked it. Like that's the whole thing. It's like, but they didn't book it.
Have it your way.
And I will say, this is a sketch that could have gone bad because the host could have really screwed up.
Yep.
But she was spot on.
Yeah.
Really didn't flub too much. He's saying do the emphasis on this word, and she does it, and it works. Kudos to her, because that's hard to do.
I don't think she screwed up any sketches.
No, she was great. The whole night she was great.
And the random escalation at the end too. Wait, you guys are married?
Yeah.
It's so random. No, I really like that sketch.
Yeah,
Really
it turned out to be pretty good, even though it took just a little while to get chugging along.
Yeah.
Agreed. All right. It Girl Thanksgiving Special. A Thanksgiving special adds a chic twist to the traditional holiday by featuring celebrities such as Victoria Beckham, played by Charlie XCX, Naomi Campbell, played by Ego Wodem, Rachel Sennett, played by Sarah Sherman, and others including Ashley Padilla, Jane Wickline, and Heidi Gardner. Bowen Yang and Chloe Feynman play the hosts, Mark Jacobs and Julia Fox, while Kenan Thompson portrays Law Roach. This is another sketch where they get to do their impressions, right?
I didn't get it.
I didn't love this.
I didn't love it, but I did get it, and I appreciated it because it's
Yeah, but sell me on this.
It's not for us, Nate. So
it's for a different
too long,
it's for a
wasn't
different
funny.
pop culture sect. I think the impressions were solid. I liked the physical gag of them walking on a Thanksgiving dinner table and kicking the stuff around.
Really? Because I'm like, that's not funny.
I think it was amusing. I don't think it was laugh out loud funny, but it was amusing enough.
This reminded me very much of like the Charlie XCX talk show, which was just not funny.
So to me, this was a little more weird than funny, and I almost wish it would have played earlier in the show, and it might have felt like it was better.
Maybe.
Because putting it later in the show just made it feel weird. I don't know if that makes sense.
All right.
I do want to give a special shout out to Sarah Sherman though, because her pouting face as Rachel Sennett is exactly what Rachel Sennett does in certain like photos and stuff like that. And Rachel Sennett herself even posted on her Instagram that Sarah nailed the pout.
That's awesome.
But also bringing Rachel Sennett in there where only 7 people know who that is.
It's a very
is a very niche.
She's actually very popular among the youths.
Is that
So,
right?
Yeah,
Fair
so I think anybody who knows who Charlie XCX is probably knows who Rachel Sennett is.
Okay.
And
All
so
right.
who is Rachel Sennett?
She's Rosie Schuster in the Saturday Night Live movie.
She's very good.
Oh, okay.
She's very good.
Gotcha.
When we talked about that, we had a whole episode dedicated
Yeah, but
to
I
it.
forget names.
I mentioned her name, and I met her, and I interviewed her.
She's very nice. It's great.
She's also a hot little potato.
Okay, easy. Easy.
All right. Shrek the Musical. Or Shirk the Musical.
Shirk the musical?
Shrek.
I accidentally wrote Shirk, but tensions arise among a group of friends played by Bowen Yang, Sarah Sherman, Ego Wodem, and Emil Wachim when one of them, Charlie XCX, begins a romantic relationship with a member played by Michael Longfellow of the cast of Shrek the Musical. Ego Wodem reached her milestone 400th episode or sketch on SNL during this one. So Bowen Yang for this
He didn't even remember his own character's name.
was just so good.
I'm Gadget.
The fact that he was so sassy and pissed
That's
off.
what,
man.
it was need this, but I
No,
loved it.
it was needed because it was hilarious.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying,
especially
but it
when he
was-
flew off the handle on the most innocuous stuff.
Yeah,
it
that's
was
what I'm saying.
so good.
But it wasn't like it was just Bowen Yang. Hey Bowen, do something funny. It felt like
this
and he did.
felt like a true 10-1.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you a question. What do you think that they did to get the green paint on their mouths and
They were
hands?
kissing and fondling.
Where?
No, that's the point of the sketch. Is they
I do like that when who walked backstage and then came back out with the fresh
Sarah
paint.
Sherman.
So like you could just see
It was wet and they just smeared it really. Yeah.
And so my brain's going, oh, that must have been hilarious of her back there like, no, you got to dry it a little bit. I don't have time. I got to get back out there because it looks so fresh and so clumpy.
There wasn't. I'll say this: there wasn't a ton of escalation in this for me.
I didn't need it,
but I
thought
didn't
that it was
need it.
great.
That's what I was going to say. I didn't need it.
I think it was
I knew where it was going, and I was okay with
the
it.
escalation came from the reveals of further paint because I love the way they revealed
the Bo and Yang,
the prince and the face and the ass,
and then just
the face,
the motorboating the ass, and then finally he picks Emil Joachim, right?
Yeah,
just like his Pablo.
Yeah,
we just pick you. Okay, it was just such a weird.
And
end.
I feel like making Michael Longfellow Shrek was such a weird choice too.
It's like a sad Santa Claus version of Shrek.
I didn't even know who it was.
Whatever.
I didn't even know who it was.
It did take me a second to figure out who it was.
It was so great. That was so fun.
All right, that's the episode. Let's do 2 cut for time sketches. This is a rarity. This is not common where there are 2 cut for time sketches. Most episodes don't.
It's
even
also
have
I
any.
like to point out a rarity that a sketch that they tease in the opening credits
there was
is cut from the
one
episode.
of these sketches went a little too long.
I put out a thing on Twitter and Blue Sky asking if this was something that had ever happened in SNL history before, and somebody who is like, I'm just somebody who like pays attention to this kind of stuff a lot. Apparently, it happened during the Jacob Elordi episode, where there was, I don't know if it was Please Don't Destroy. I imagine it probably had to be, and it didn't air on the show. And then the last time that they had mentioned was like a long time before that, involving something with Robert Smigel.
Gotcha.
So it does not happen often where they announce something in the opening credits and it doesn't make it into the show.
The Please Don't Destroy one was great. And I wish it could have been on the show.
Yeah, it was
actually cut for time,
cute,
for real.
Yeah,
mean,
you know,
cute, yeah.
mean and cute.
If it was on the show, it would have been funny. It is. I will say it is. It feels like an evolution, a variation on what they did with Dakota Johnson, where they roasted each other,
which is fine.
But the
so good.
the back and forth, I think, made it more fun, and the setup of where they were and just changing that up and making it like a meet cute was funny.
And the acknowledgement. Oh, you haven't been here in 7 episodes.
Yeah.
That was great.
That was a funny.
A lot of great one-liners.
The only thing that would have made it better is that they've had more SNL digital shorts this year than Please Don't Destroy videos.
Yes.
All right, Caden in this cover time
Pass.
sketch. Yeah, a couple of other stories about.
Well, now hold on
son.
a second. Caden's a special boy.
Yeah, no, this is real bad.
Okay, so I thought this was funny until they brought Caden down. They're like, "Oh, he really is the person that they said
It's
he
just
was."
it went on way too long.
There were some funny things about parents
that
that are insecure about their son or daughter not being.
There's
a
one note that
performing-
went nowhere.
It went on too long.
It went too long, and it just wasn't.
Jokes weren't that funny, and also they forgot the other parents forgot their kids were still playing upstairs.
Yeah,
They
they
just
forgot
left.
their kids. They left. They
just left. They're like,
you get a little wine thrown on you, you just walk out the front door.
yeah, we're done with the sketch, is what they said.
No, you can see why they cut this one.
Yes.
All right, let's go to the two things we do at the end of the episode, where we pick the sketch of the night and the
And then we
performer of
kiss.
the night, the MVP. So let's start with let's do this. We usually do sketch of the night. Let's do MVP. Who do you
It's
think
Marcelo Hernandez, hands down.
Yeah, I think it's Marcelo Hernandez.
That's exactly
as
what
well.
I had. Yeah.
Yeah, he crushed it. Everything.
He is a big timer.
Yep, he's one of my favorites now.
He's a big boy.
What was your favorite sketch, Mr. Brad?
I think my favorite sketch, now that you bring it up, because I wasn't thinking about it before.
Oh boy,
Don't you do this? Do you not do this in your?
he doesn't do a review
film?
anymore.
Yeah, so here's a little bit of an announcement that is the first thing. There will no longer be written reviews on Slash Film.
Instead, they're going to show our podcast.
They're they're just
From now on.
they're just not getting the traffic that they would like to see for the time it takes to do them, which I get, and it's fine. I have this as an outlet, so I don't care. But no, so I did not do a written review for the Charlie XCX episode. So otherwise I would have this locked and loaded and picked. I think that my favorite sketch is probably whatever you pick.
Nate, what do you got?
I was actually going to pick what you guys
Oh
picked.
my God, you've really done everything?
You know what I'm going to go with? I'm going to go with because here's
Oh my God, I am done.
Do you really have a clear one?
Yeah,
I don't know that-
if you know, then say it, Ben. What the fuck?
Maybe we'll agree with you. I don't know if there is a standout sketch here. I think it was a good episode. I really
Ben,
do.
pick one. Hurry.
But I don't
Hurry,
think there was a great sketch in this.
No, Ben, you
No,
know so much. Hurry,
it's
go.
not- like,
Faster.
It's not
Hurry,
a
fast. Hurry, do it.
great sketch, but the Shrek one was my favorite.
No,
Really?
The Shrek one was your favorite?
See, that's what I'm saying. That was a
fucked
fine
up,
sketch.
man.
Because it was fine.
I would have picked probably the digital short, the Please Don't Destroy, not the Please Don't Destroy, the Lonely Island one, because it's produced really well. It is a good song. But even that, I feel a little bit.
There was not a peak and really not a valley
It
here.
is too bad because I
think it was a
pretty good episode.
Yeah, and
honestly,
so that's why
but-
like the Shrek one reminded me of a true 10-to-1 sketch. I didn't see it coming necessarily. The
maybe
Bo and
Baby
Yang
Moon.
stuff.
I'll pick Baby Moon because again, it was a better version of the first one they did,
Fair enough.
and I thought it was.
I'm
pretty
going with
funny.
digital short.
All right.
Okay.
That's
All right.
that's where my flavor is.
Do you agree though, Brad, that it wasn't? It was a good episode, but there wasn't a standout sketch.
Yeah, it felt like a pretty just average episode all the
I
way
think
through.
better than average.
I think that the sketches within the sketches there were some really good jokes, but none of the sketches themselves felt like they were great
It
sketches.
was very very solid. Very
Yep.
solid overall.
Yeah, just a solid episode. I was impressed by Charli XCX as a host. I wouldn't mind seeing her come back again. She was very fun to watch. Obviously, game for anything,
Yeah.
and yeah, it was very enjoyable.
All right, what is our next episode?
Our next episode will be after December 7th when Paul Mescal, the star of Gladiator 2, hosts SNL. And I'd just like to say, called it.
You did
You
call
did.
it. It was
You
good.
did. All right, that's our episode for the
Oh,
day.
Shabuzi's the musical guest.
Yeah.
I don't know who that is.
He sings the song about
Shabuzi.
Jack
Shabuzi.
We
It's
gotta-
like a country song, but he's not white.
I got myself a whiskey.
Yeah,
Take it to the bar.
Yep, there you go.
Give myself some.
Well, that's
All right,
Good night.
you can follow us
Follow anywhere.
on Twitter and Facebook. Help us out by commenting and being involved in the conversation online, if you will. Share the episodes. Let's get the conversation going. We appreciate you as listeners. We'll be back here in a couple of weeks. Thanks so much. Be good to yourself. Be good to others. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.